All right. How is everybody doing tonight? This is episode number 2 of Talk Turkey to Me. And I am excited because we've got a whole bunch of just straight killers representing the league tonight. So I hope everybody's ready for just a great show. We're going to bring some people on. Mr. Chris Felt.
Fight.
Mr. Kyle Hawk. Mr. Mike Condon. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great night.
It is indeed a great night.
Definitely. I don't know if you can hear. I got my little girl's downstairs with me right now. She's got her little figurine. She's having a good old time.
Hey, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. We are here for the good time, right, guys?
That's right.
So I know that we've got several people. I have a few people that have already messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be late, but I'm joining. Let's talk some smack. Let's talk some turkeys. We're here for a good time tonight." So
Probably
it's a little bit different. I know that we said we'd be doing this Sunday nights, but Mondays seems to work for everybody's schedule. So we are getting after it. Look at this. The trash talking in the comments, right? Is already happening. So we've got we'll do this, right? Here you go. Wes Ramsey already says hashtag Team Outlaws. We've got the Outlaws talking their stuff, but unfortunately for them, I'm pretty sure that the Pimps have retaken the lead. They are one bird away from having a perfect season as a team. And
nice.
I have the dirty little secret of being involved in the backroom chat of the captains, being a captain myself, and they had their last person kill a bird or shoot a bird, I'll say, and was unable to recover, but that would have been their tag out bird. And I know that hunter is actively out pursuing that turkey. And to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments, but I don't believe that we've ever had a team kill every single person in that team by bow for a turkey in a single year. So the Pimps are on the brink of history. They've got one person to go, and that would be a perfect season. All 15 members killing a bird, submitting a bird by bow in the deer hunt or in the turkey league contest. So we've got some people saying, "Hey, go my team." Y'all got work to do, right? We had some fun. We had some fun last chat, just hanging out and talking turkey. No, we're talking that smack today, which is great coming from me, who is on a team that has yet to submit a bird. So let's get right into
that job.
Let's get right into it with some of these other guys. Mr. Chris Felt, how's your season going so far, my man?
It's going. Today it's windier than I've ever seen it in my life.
Where are you at?
I'm in Minnesota.
Minnesota, eh?
Yeah, my last name's actually Fight.
Fight. Oh,
yeah.
The I looks like an L on my tiny little screen here, so my apologies.
It's all right. I mean, not all of us can kill birds and read, so
exactly. Some of us can do neither, apparently.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, I'm sure last week you heard it was really warm to start out, and the birds were talking, and then it got cold and shut down. I just had my first tom the beginning of the weekend, this weekend, actually respond and getting a little fired up, and I tried running and gunning without a blind with a bow, and that was fun for the first time.
There you go.
So,
Chris, where are you at in Minnesota?
I am in Hinckley, Minnesota, which is Pine County. So I'm just north of the nose of Wisconsin.
Yep.
So
yeah. So I'm hoping to possibly do some stuff over there at the end of your season. I'll be in the Brainerd area. So
good luck.
Good to hear that your birds aren't doing anything yet, right?
Yeah. Well, there's still snow up there, so
right. Yeah.
So.
Ironically enough, I'm in Michigan, right? And we had snow today. And I know that some of the areas in Wisconsin had snow today. But yeah, May 1, and I woke up to rain snow mix. We had about 20 to 30 mile an hour winds and rain mixing with snow. And Michigan's real weird. For all of you turkey passionate folks, don't ever come to Michigan because our draw seasons are the second to last and the last week of April, but you only have 7 days to hunt. And if you don't kill in that 7 days, you're done for the season.
Well, that sucks.
And then you can hunt all of May all the way to like the second week of June if you choose not to get a draw hunt, but then you're fighting all call shy birds, everything else that goes along with hunting late season birds. So unfortunately to my team, my chances of killing a Michigan bird are done at this point. So I'm going to have to hope. Gotta plug in the laptop. I've got to have to hope to get something else or I'm toast.
Usually that last weekend
privilege of being on the Mother Cluckers this year, and you laugh, but I'm actually pretty honored to be the captain of that team. We are a 92% women based team, and even our youth hunters are girls. And there's a ton of activity in our chat, people learning how to turkey hunt, how to call, how to set up decoys, and all of that. And I absolutely love it. I feel like I am welcoming the next round of turkey slayers into the world. So it's a good time. But I'm glad to hear that you're in an area, Chris, that isn't snow covered. But we're gonna swing it over and let's hear Mr. Kyle Hawk. How's your season going, my man? All I see is that luscious beard.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Hey, my season has been okay. I've killed 3 birds with my bow, but honestly, it's been a lot slower than I was hoping it was going to be.
A lot slower. You've killed 3 birds. Tell us a little bit. Where have you been so far this year?
I've been in South Dakota, which I always kill multiple birds in South Dakota, and then I've hunted just like one evening here in Minnesota, where I currently live, and then I took a trip with my oldest boy to Tennessee and North Carolina. Didn't end up getting a shot opportunity. My oldest boy did kill one with a shotgun while we were there, so that was, a successful trip on that. But a little disappointed the birds didn't respond where I was at. I kind of pigeonholed myself in by limiting myself to 1 or 2 private properties that I got permission on. A little disappointing on that end. And then the first couple hunts I did in South Dakota, I only killed, like I said, the 3 birds on the 2 hunts. And honestly, that's a little slow for me. I thought the birds would have been doing better, and I made 1 or 2 bad shots. I was really hoping to come out of opening weekend in South Dakota with 5 birds.
Man, that's crazy though. I mean, you've had a heck of a season, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It all, and you said you had your son kill one with a shotgun. So
correct.
Yeah. Generation carrying on the legacy of the turkey hunters. So
yeah,
I would say that's an absolute W so far for the season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty decent.
So, Kyle, what team are you on?
I'm on the Formidable Killers.
Formidable Killers. Well, you guys are kind of the dark horse that has walked into the season, and here you are sitting well within the top 10. You know,
we're two guys short of everybody killing.
So you guys are chasing the pimps then. I mean, everybody knows the pimps. Everybody knows the outlaws. Those two teams have been around for 3 and 4, while the pimps are 5 years, pimps 5.0. The outlaws, I think, are in their 4th season overall. They might be in their 5th, but I'm not sure. But the Formidable Killers, you guys are challenging that chase for legendary status to having the whole team kill.
Yep, for sure. I mean, we brought, James Fahey is the captain. We were both on the Bearded Bangers last year when we won that. And he brought some of the heavy hitters from that team and kind of formed our own team.
Yeah, and that's what it is, right? Like the bow hunting league turkey contest is the ultimate realm of networking. Are you a killer, or are you a poser, or are you a killer but you don't always commit every season? Who knows who's going to commit and make it happen. And it's really cool this year. This is my 3rd year captaining a turkey team, and I've never seen a season like this. We have 5 or 6 teams that have the possibility to exceed 200, which is just nuts.
Yep.
What?
So, Kyle, how long have you been in the contest? How many years have you been doing the turkey league?
This is just my 2nd year.
2nd year, okay.
Yep.
So who out of Chris or Mike has been doing it longer?
This is my 1st year.
Mike, that's your first. Chris?
I think it's my 4th year. I was on the Bearded Bangers 2021 champs.
Look at that. Shout out to the 2021 champs. So
That's right.
Have you ever seen a year like this with this many teams competing at this high of a level?
No, I'm actually pretty impressed because, last couple of years I'm good friends with James Fahey and all them. And, it's a really cool thing about the bow hunting league is we are so connected. It's like a family.
Right.
And I've never seen so many people could actually committed to the bow, because that's a lot of teams. I've heard a lot of different things. I mean, Don and I talked at the beginning of the season, the problem we were having. There's a lot of these guys, they'd go out and they'd give up after a week of hunting and say, nope, shooting them with a gun. And then your whole team's tagged out, but you only got 3 guys that killed with a bow.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's what's nuts, right? I talked about the Pimp 5.0 are 1 person away from everybody submitting with a bow. Kyle just said that the Formidable Killers are 2 people away, chasing that legend status of the entire team tagging out with a bow. That's something that is so unique to the bow hunting league, right? I love the fact that we are a band of individuals, men and women, youth, and everything. We have nothing in common except the fact that we love killing with a bow.
Yep, for sure.
And it is so cool to be a part of this community and all of that. We're going to go to the comments quick. Sean Taylor, he says there's 13 days left in the Indiana season. My fingers are still crossed for a bird. Sean, keep after it. That is the one message out of everybody so far. Do not give that vertical bow up for a shotgun. Don't spray and pray. Keep it to a bow. Let's make it happen for you. How about this comment, guys? Josh Shields says, I've called in 9 legal birds. I have yet to get a shot. Let's go around. And what would be your tip to Josh to make it happen so far this season? Start with you, Chris.
Just keep at it. I mean, the problem is humans can see on the UV, we can see 5 different levels of the UV, and the turkeys can see 9. So we are, their eyesight's so good, and I'd say just keep doing what you're doing. If you've called in 9 birds, you're obviously doing something right. The right thing will happen at the right time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. You're definitely talking that talk they want to hear. You're talking turkey to them, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just got to find a way to blend into your surroundings and make it happen. So, Kyle, what do you say? Called in 9 birds, have yet to get a shot. What would be your one tip? Clearly, you're a killer, so give us that advice.
Man, he obviously is a talented caller. That's definitely one of my weaknesses is calling birds. I'm much more of a spot and stock and scout and get in front of them, especially in the open prairies. That's kind of my game. But man, if he can call them in like that, if it's a matter of them not committing, it might be something either in his decoy spread or him not blending in. Might just want to change something up a little bit in how you present your decoy spread or where you're hiding at, maybe try to draw him past you a little more. It's so situational, but obviously it sounds like he's doing the calling part right. He might just want to change something else a little different to be able to get that shot.
Absolutely. Great advice. Mike, you're last to join, or not to join, but last to give your advice. What would you say if you called in 9 birds and have yet to make a shot? Give us one piece of advice.
I'm basically on the same line as what Kyle's saying with, probably change up something with your presentation, your decoys, or maybe change if you're not in a blind, or if you're in a blind, ditch the blind, get in a good camo pattern. And if you're not in a blind, maybe try a different camo pattern. And like Kyle was saying too, find a different way to either hide yourself better sounds like he's doing all the calling correctly. But Kyle hit both, I think the both best tips that I would suggest. That maybe the decoys are too far out, and I always set out my decoys anywhere from 5 to 7 yards in front of me. This way, if they do try to skirt at 20, 30 yards, I still got a shot if I'm not using a decap broadhead, which my areas where I do have permission to turkey hunt this year, I didn't really have much of a choice. I wanted to make sure I dropped them immediately and they weren't going anywhere. I didn't want them to run off into a neighbor's yard somewhere. And I was hunting metro backyard. So I was like, okay, decap's my way to go. It's the way they drop and they stay. But for the tip, for sure, I would, if you're using a blind, maybe get out of the blind. Maybe they don't like the slight change in how it is, or maybe brush it in better. And if you're not in a blind, try maybe a different camo, or maybe even try a blind or just a small pop-up one that you can set up in seconds just to get something in front of you.
Yeah, great advice. Hey, love the feedback from everybody. Josh actually commented back and said, no blind. To be fair, 5 were Jake's. Who cares? Bearded bird is bearded bird. If they want to talk that smack, they can get shot in the face, right?
That's bearded bird. It can be a bearded hen, like I seen today on
Absolutely. One of our main hunters who got his opening day finally shot a bearded hen right out the gate. So those bearded ladies can get the smoke too, huh, boys?
I literally have almost killed. I've seen 5 of them this year on the property that I'm at. I've never seen so many in my life.
You've seen 5 bearded hens?
5 bearded hens, anywhere from a little pencil to the one had like a 5-inch beard on her, and she was.
Gosh, what is it between the humans and the turkeys? All the ladies are bearded these days.
I was thinking the same thing. Oh man,
I shouldn't. I apologize. My bad. Here's another comment for everybody. Getting off topic. Jason says, bought an out-of-state tag for Kentucky, 3.5 days and crazy tight-lipped birds. No luck and heading to Wyoming for a Miriam end of May. Tagged out in Ohio second day. Hey, this brings up a great point, and it seems to be a going trend with these cold temps in the northern states. What do you guys suggest for hunting quiet toms?
Oh.
Right. Everybody loves getting out to a roost spot. Everybody loves hearing that gobble before daybreak even happens, getting close to a tree, calling them down, hearing them happen. But what about the times when it's cold temps or a little bit harder hunting and there's no noise? What do you guys suggest? And I'm going to switch it up. Kyle, let's start with you. You've been killing birds all year. Have any of yours been tight-lipped birds?
Yeah, all three of my well, I shouldn't say that. Two of my birds that I killed this year didn't make a peep until I killed them. The one bird did. He gobbled his head off. And for me, all three were South Dakota birds. The two, again, like I said, I'm really a terrible caller, and I'm much better at scouting and spotting and stalking, and I know where they've been going to feed. And so just kind of ambushing him and getting in between them. I'm much better on the quiet days to just, you're almost hunting them like a spot and stalk prairie deer or antelope, where you're trying to get in front of them. You're trying to use your intel, use your winds, just kind of move around and get in front of them. Use the wind to your advantage that, they can hear so well that I actually really like a light breeze when I'm trying to stalk in on birds. Just so that it covers a little bit of my sound when I'm trying to move in around in front of them.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. So learn their patterns, right? And they're not quite like a deer, right? In the fall, their patterns get blown up by the rut. The hens in turkey hunting are still sticking to that pattern. The toms are going wherever the heck the hens are going. So they're not nomadic like deer. So knowing where they're going, where they're feeding, where they're roosting, huge method of success. Mike, what do you suggest for those tight-lipped toms that aren't talking?
Biggest thing I've seen is if you know where a food source is, they're eventually going to get to it. The hens will eventually get to it. Like I have a couple farms I've hunted in the past, and if they're quiet, I just move from where I thought they were roosting that morning, and I'll try to sneak over to where I know they should be walking through. And like one of the comments said, be quiet, soft calls, and call every half hour or so. Like that's kind of what I would generally do. Is like a couple of the farms, it's like, all right, I know they like to go through this one alfalfa field and kind of graze, and then maybe cut through this little plowed field, and they'll kind of just skirt the edge of it about 10, 20 yards out and just kind of sit there and wait. And sometimes they come and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. I clicked the wrong comment, but yeah, like you were saying, right? The comment said, quiet toms equals soft calls and shut up. Call every half hour. That's great advice.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Chris?
I haven't killed like that, but it's been something I've seen to where I would see them starting to come in and they just wouldn't commit. But yeah, it's just like you kind of slightly call at them, no gobble or nothing, but they'll kind of strut working their way, and then they would skirt me at about 50, 60 yards and they just not commit.
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, great advice. Chris, what do you think? What's the best way to kill a tight-lipped tom?
I hunt turkeys a lot like I hunt deer, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, obviously we know the rut, you're not going to be able to pattern a deer, but for the most part, as a pretty serious bow hunter, you're going to get to know the animal you're hunting. You're going to be very intimate with them. And even if you only have 3.5 days or whatever, I like to scout while I hunt. Like I'll make some soft calls and binoculars, even in the woods. Binoculars are your best friends. So I will like soft call and I'll scan a whole area. And I mean, even if it takes a day of my hunt to just try to figure out where the birds are, at least tonight, where are they going to end up tonight? Because in the morning, then you can kind of figure out, and like everybody else, you cut them off. You just kind of keep soft calling. I mean, tight-lipped birds are they're no fun. When they come in, you kill them, but they just don't make it fun when they're not calling.
Yeah,
so,
there's nothing like hearing the hammer, right?
Yeah.
Just that shake your core gobble. I had that this weekend. Last Talk Turkey to me, I talked about how the birds were super quiet and everything here in Michigan, and we didn't hear a gobble until after 9 a.m. this past Friday, which was the last day of my 7-day season, unfortunately, because I drew a tag, it was the opposite. I had waited all week. I was fortunate enough to get off work for Friday, and it was the opposite of the weekend. It was the low was the same as the high from opening day, and we got out there, and it was nothing but gobbles. I mean, we could hear gobbles everywhere, and we called birds off the roost, and unfortunately we thought that they were roosted on a certain ridge, and they ended up being one ridge closer than we expected, so we couldn't get over a knoll that we wanted to get to set up. And when we finally called them off the roost, they came 90% of the way. They hung up on the knoll that we wanted to be set up on and wouldn't commit to coming over to our decoys. So they hung up about 65 yards. But there's nothing like having them get off the roost, get on the ground, and get in that less than 100 yards and just hear them, just thunder out. Right.
I think another good thing is like you got to try to call to the hens, because if you sound like a whore in fishnets, I am not joking. Like, if you get a hen fired up, no matter if he's not going to talk or not, he's going to come over.
It's the joking name of this little show for the season, right? You got to talk turkey to them, right? It's got to happen. If you can't talk turkey to them, they're not coming in, right?
You make that hen mad.
Right? Says, if they're henned up and they have hens, you got to use single cuts until you have a hen fired up. Once she comes in, she'll drag the toms with. 75% of the birds he's killed have been working hens in. It's exactly what we're saying. That's exactly the advice given. So those tight-lipped birds, you're not calling to the toms. You're talking turkey to the hens. You got to piss that girl off for being on her ground and get her to drag her boyfriend with.
So that's almost more fun than talking to the toms. When you get a hen going, man.
That's exactly right. So let's add another element to it, right? Mr. Cody Mag, I believe, right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Another straight up killer. So I'm sure you've been listening in the wing. No pun intended for those turkey fans. What advice do you have for killing birds, and especially toms that are tight-lipped?
Get lucky.
Get lucky.
Story of my life, man.
All right, guys. Podcast over. Best advice of the night. Just get lucky.
Done. We had one on Saturday in Ohio that I had the tom all fired up and had the hens come in, but I screwed up and had a strutter out, and he did not like it, and he went the opposite direction.
I've heard more people this season say the birds are so decoy dependent. If you've got too aggressive of a Jake or too big of a strutter, or if you don't have a bearded decoy out in the spread, it's just so picky and way less just having a decoy in front and way more of having the right decoy in front.
That's my big thing, is I didn't think about it. In this certain area, there's only, from what I've been told from my dad, and that 2 toms and about 8 hens. And I messed up and put the strutter out instead of some hens. I had 3 hens within feet of the blind, but he seen that strutter and he went the opposite direction.
He wanted nothing to do with the smoke, huh?
Yeah, and then he went back in the one woods and he kept gobbling, trying to get the hens to him. But like Chris was talking, I had the hen all fired up, and he popped out, kept watching, and just decided, hey, I'm not going for a fight, and went the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, right? Like, if you don't have that perfect combination, sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. Well, Cody, you're new to the chat, right? We're a half hour in. Tell me how your team's doing. How's your season going so far?
I actually haven't hunted Indiana but once yet because our weather's been horrible.
Welcome to the party.
I got on late because I went and took a drive to see where birds were in the rain. and I counted 15 different birds out tonight. Not one gobbler. They were all hens and jakes. But my team, where I'm misfits, we had Mitch. He put a huge double beard down last week in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh Stubbs killed a nice one. I can't remember where he killed that. I think it was Illinois he killed that one in. And that's the only 2 birds we have entered. We have a couple guys who their season doesn't open until the 8th.
Okay. What states are those? Do you know?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
That's got to be northeast somewhere.
Yeah, it's up northeast that area.
Yep.
I think Maryland is one of them. But
So, yeah, the 8th would be a little late. Forgive me. The date for this Saturday is what? It's the first. So the 6th.
6th.
The
6th.
6th. So if any of your guys are Michigan guys that didn't draw a tag, their season will open on Saturday.
Yep, and then I'll hunt. I plan on hunting Michigan right at the end of season.
Yep, because Michigan is super unique because they go all the way until I believe June 8th.
Yes.
Holy.
Yeah.
Which is you want to talk about tight-lipped toms? You are simply hunting food patterns when you get into June. I promise they are not gobbling at you.
I only live where I'm at right now. I'm only a mile from the Michigan line.
There you go.
And I hunted my buddy up there last year, the last week of May, and you'd hear him gobble once or twice on the roost, and if you weren't close, you might as well go home.
Just kiss it goodbye. That's exactly right. And that's why it's so unique. So Michigan, for the fun of the conversation, right? Michigan dropped off 2 decades ago in their turkey numbers, like a lot of the Midwest states are right now. They struggled with turkey numbers. They enacted some crazy policies for caring for birds, for tag limits. They way restricted the licenses for several years. Growing up, I never turkey hunted because it was multiple years between tags. Now, I believe they're the 2nd or 3rd highest turkey population for Easterns in the United States. But they protect their birds different. Missouri doesn't let you hunt after 1 p.m. in an effort to allow hens to be on nests and all of that.
Same as Ohio.
Pennsylvania is the same way, right? There's a lot of different things. Michigan does it by restricting the best seasons to short periods. So the 2 best seasons for birds being responsive to calls and hungry for decoys and all of that are only 7-day seasons. And then when they get less responsive to calls and decoys, then you have the whole time. But the numbers in Michigan are insane. They answer for themselves. The turkey population in this state is incredible. It's really hard to hunt.
Like my one farm is actually right on the state line. And it's funny if me and my buddy are both hunting on, I'm in Indiana, he's in Michigan, and we'll be texting back and forth, and it's like we had one last year hang up right between us. And there was nothing we could do. He was strutting right on the state line road. And there was nothing either of us could do, and he walked down the road to the property we can't hunt, and we watched him walk away. Yeah, Ohio is just like that with the cutoff. I think it's the first week of season, or it's the first week or 2 weeks. Today was the first day Ohio can hunt all day.
Okay.
And their cutoff's 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like
I didn't know that Ohio had a time cutoff.
Yep. It used to be like the one comment there. It used to be the first 2 weeks till noon, then daylight to dark. Okay, yeah, now it's just the first week.
Okay, good.
And Mitch killed his tom last week on Monday. When he said he looked at his watch right after he shot his bird, he had 2 minutes to go.
So let's do this, right? We've got some great commenters today between Facebook, the group, and even YouTube comments. If you've hunted a unique state that has a crazy law, like a time restriction, a date restriction, or anything like that, shoot it in the comments so that we know about it. We can address it, whatever. I love hearing the unique laws that states are coming up with to protect the great thing that we all love, which is chasing big old gobblers in the spring. So with that in mind, Cody, we've kind of talked a little bit about you. I'm going to hand it over. Kyle, I'm going to start with you. You are traveling all over the country. What is a crazy state that you've hunted in with a unique law?
Born and raised in South Dakota, that's kind of my heart. I will always hunt South Dakota every day, every year, probably till the day I die. And I stay very in depth with all the laws and regulations there. Kind of unique for this year. The Black Hills, number one, because the population has gone down the last 5 to 10 years, both due to social media influence, as well as we had some really hard winters year after year. Mm-hmm. They actually pushed back the Black Hills opener 2 weeks this year, and they didn't extend the end of the season. So that was a real big thing in the Black Hills. And I also do believe, for anybody looking at going to the Black Hills, they just put a cap on non-resident deer licenses for archery. And I very much see them doing the same thing for Black Hills turkey licenses within the next year or two. I'm pretty sure they're going to put a cap on them. So South Dakota is actually broke up into hunting units. It's not the archery tag is statewide, but if you hunt archery on a shotgun tag, it's actually broke down into units where you have the Black Hills units and then lots of different counties that are set up with 50 tags in this county and 100 tags in this county, et cetera, et cetera. And so far, the Black Hills has been 100% unlimited, and I see that going away within a year or two. So that was a big change that I noticed this year.
Yeah, and to that note, right, South Dakota's not the only one, right? I know for sure Kansas is restricting not only their fall turkey tags, but they're also going to start limiting their spring turkey tags for non-residents.
Nebraska did this year. That was a big one.
I believe Oklahoma 2 years ago went from 3 birds for a season to 2 birds for a season. It used to be in Oklahoma that you could shoot 3 birds. Only 2 could be from the same county.
It's a one bird
county.
Oklahoma's 1 bird this year.
It's 1 bird this year. So
yep.
even more extreme, right? The last time I hunted Oklahoma 3 years ago, it was 3 birds, but only 2 could be from the same county. You had to travel to a different county for the third, and now they're all the way down to 1 bird, and it's all in that realm of conservation, right? Well,
yeah, Grandpa Rob Teal killed his upgrade bird in Oklahoma, and that's his only bird, and that's why he was sitting and waiting it out. I mean, he had lots of birds that he was sitting on, just waiting for an upgrade bird from his Kansas bird.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we've got some awesome things, right? Coming in the comments. Here's one. Pennsylvania is noon for the first week and no Sunday hunting. And I believe that's across the board. I don't think that Pennsylvania allows Sunday hunting for any of the seasons. I know that they don't allow it for deer either.
They get like 2 Sundays the entire year to hunt.
That's the Lord's Day, right?
Hey, I'm closer to God 20 feet in the tree. I don't know about the rest of you, but
right. Here's another commenter, right? Ohio dropped to 1 bird in the spring, down from 2, and 1 either sex in the fall, so hen or tom, due to severe population decline. Coon and Neat, I'm going to assume that nest raiders are out of control, bobcats everywhere, and no season on cats yet. That seems to be the big thing. I've talked to a lot of people, right? And everybody says the same thing. If us turkey hunters want to be passionate about this sport, we need to get involved in trapping. We need to start handling the population of the nest raiders, of the coons, the possums, the coyotes that are killing hens that are trying to stay on the ground in the spring. And I think that goes, for anything that we love to chase in the wild, is if we love it, we need to take care of it.
But to touch on that, I coon hunt heavy. I competition coon hunt all year round. And talking to people trying to get permission to even run them or anything like that to help that out is almost impossible.
It is.
Like I knocked on 25 doors in the last week, and I've got permission for one property.
Yeah. I think
I tell people all the time, come along with me, and I guarantee it, because they always say, "Oh, it's gonna run the deer off." Well, come with me, and I can guarantee you the deer will stand there and watch me.
Right.
Yeah, the deer.
But yeah, like
the deer don't care. The deer don't care because they're probably just like, it's just another guy. Not a big deal.
And even the dogs. I had a buck that I was watching this last year that he's a straight nocturnal, and him almost every single night when I coon hunted, I'd walk within 50 yards of him. He'd just watch me walk by and keep right on grazing. No problem about it. And it's like, if I tell people all the time, my biggest property I love hunting, once the guy came with me and seen all the deer we've seen up close, he'd give me full permission. And now the turkey are actually starting to come back on that property because we thinned the coon out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's the thing, right? This is what I love so much about the Bow Hunting League. We're over 40,000 members strong on our Facebook group, right? We understand what it takes to be passionate about what we do, whether it be deer or turkey or whatever. We want to care for the sport that we love. Here's the thing. Start doing what you need to do, right? Knock on doors, start educating people, invite friends, fellow hunters, even those that are just gun hunters, right? Invite them, just follow along on the group page. Right? Tell them, hey, you're a hunter, come to the community. And with that in mind, we can start doing things as a group, as a unit, with a common purpose, which is preserving what we love to do. And we can make changes, right? Here's another one, right? This one's unique. Nebraska limited to 10,000 non-resident permits, went from 3 to 2 permits, and now you can't kill 2 in the same day. And they added telecheck. It's crazy how the dynamic is changing. I'm old enough to remember when turkeys were on that verge. I'm young enough to enjoy the fact that they're coming back massively, but I'm also, at that age to realize that unless we start doing more than just hunt turkeys and start taking care of, everything else that affects turkeys, we're not going to have this chance for the next generation, or it'll be a struggle until they're older like we are now, when we can start getting numbers back, because we realize what conservation truly is. And I think that the league has a huge part in that.
In Ohio, where I hunted on Saturday, that is the first time. I grew up there for 21 years. That's the first time I've ever turkey hunted in the county where I grew up at, and actually seeing birds. But we got a big river that runs just north of there. And I know guys, there used to be wintertime, you'd see 200-300 birds out along the river. Well, the last 4 springs, right before hatch, it's flooded. And every year since then, the turkey population is so low now. But they come to that area now the last 3 years because the coon population's down, and you'll see a bunch of poults running around after they hatch. And that's what a lot of guys from there have been saying, is they're starting to branch out and get away from, it's like the turkeys are evolving and learning to get away from that river to where they can actually hatch their poults.
Right. Yeah. And I think that if we want to make it happen where we can preserve the hunting that we love, right? It involves, here's one, right? Join the National Wild Turkey Federation for a true conservation group that really does everything in its power to preserve the sport, right? when it comes down to it, it's every one of ours responsibility to make sure that what we love to do is available for those after us. And I went from cutting up and having fun to a fairly serious conversation, but I think that it's important, right?
Yeah.
Right. Here's another comment. Bow hunting is not just 2 seasons, it's 365. Food source, minerals, scouting, preservation, and predator control. Do your part. Jason, you can't be more right with that.
Nailed
right?
it.
That is
Oh, yeah,
exactly
100%.
what it is. It is, there I don't remember what company it is. It's not just a passion, it's a lifestyle, right? There's a slogan out there for that.
And that's where I live at up here. Not to get off the turkey thing, but our group killed just over 100 coyotes this year. And I know of 2 other groups not too far from here that are all almost at 100. And you can't find ground around here to even deer hunt on because we have so many deer and turkeys because we take care of the predator problem every year.
Right. Yep. That's absolutely right. Right. So, Edwin, thank you. Edwin says that's Mossy Oak's slogan. So good call on that, Edwin. Well, hey, we've got about 15 minutes left. So I want to bring it back to the lighthearted cut up. Here's what we're going to do. I want to give you a chance, each one of you, to talk about how many birds do you have submitted and where do you hope your team's going to be and what's one team you want to beat by the end of the year. Cody, we're going to start with you.
Well, we have 2 birds submitted so far, and my team was made up of everybody that didn't get on a team this year. And so just us guys getting birds submitted makes our team completely happy. We've got to know each other, help a few new ones out. And I can't say it's not for lack of trying that we don't have more birds submitted. But as long as we got more, if we can submit one more bird, I think our team will be happy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's awesome, right? Like just getting birds on the board is a huge W for you guys.
Yeah.
And more power to you guys for putting a team together. Not just having a bunch of friends in the league. You guys grabbed whoever was available, said, let's do this thing. And
that was my issue. I was actually on Spur Daddies to start. And I had an elbow injury that I was supposed to have surgery on, so I wasn't going to be able to bow hunt.
Okay.
So I stepped back to let them have somebody else join. And so I didn't hold them down. And I was talking to Ben, and he said, hey, I seen the post about anybody that didn't get in. I said, hey, I'll be a captain so that I know it's ran smooth and stuff. And come to find out, I can bow hunt. So it's like, sweet. And that's the best thing about the league is Mitch there. He only lives like 35, 40 minutes from me. And he goes, if you don't get one and need help, call me. He goes, I'll swing over and help you. It's like, that's what I've loved so much about the league.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. We're a band of brothers and sisters that are just passionate about hunting, right? We just want to kill stuff.
We just want the pips to lose.
There it is.
100%.
There it is. Just down with the pimps, right? All right. Thanks, Cody. Yep. Hey, Chris, what about you? How's your team sitting? What's the one team you want to knock off in the standings for the rest of the year?
I think as of today, we're in 5th, if I saw correctly. We had a double bearder killed a while back, and then James Fahey had to glue a beard on his bird to jump on.
So that's the secret. Good glue and good photos, right?
I know where he lives. No, I'm really impressed with our guys and really happy. I think a lot of guys are really getting in the groove, so we'll see. And no pressure on anybody. Just let's just have fun. Let's get good clean kills. And the one team is definitely either Pasture Pimps or Formidable Killers, just because of Fahey, the sandbagger.
There you go. There you go. Hey, everybody's chasing the pimps until the pimps fold, like at the end of the season, like they do all the time, right?
Right. They always choke.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Awesome. All right, Mike, you're captaining that squad. You know,
Yeah.
where are you sitting right now, and what are you hoping to accomplish by the end of the year?
The Rooster Reapers here. We're still only hanging on by my one bird, and I didn't look at the standings yet. I know we're still kind of lower on the totem pole. We got guys that are out there. They're hunting hard. I know a few guys for sure that are just headed out today to a new location. I believe one guy was running to Indiana today, and I know one guy for sure. He's been hunting really hard, just tight-lipped birds. He's hunting big timber, and he's trying. He's really trying, and it's not going so well. But if we can get I for sure want at least 2 more birds. I know I got those turkey track stickers from Don, and I put like 4 or 5 on my car, and I told my team, I'm like, hey, I got the rest of these stickers to be put on a vehicle. Next gotta get one with a bow. When we get submitted, I'll send them out to you no matter what. Oh, thanks, bud. And another guy in the group makes custom crappie jigs and fly jigs and stuff. Oh, tell Duke he can't come downstairs. Puppies stay upstairs. Sorry, the kids are getting excited before bedtime, of course.
Bring them in and have them say hi to everybody.
Hey, you want to come say hi?
I snuck out to the truck for that reason.
Yeah.
Hello.
And my boy over here had to make sure I had something to drink for work tomorrow. He gave me a nice body armor.
There you go.
But
there's a turkey right there.
Yeah, that was my first ever bow turkey. Actually, my first ever turkey as about 7 years ago. That one was about 25 pounds, had a 10.5-inch beard and an 1.8-inch birds. It was a good first bird. But yeah, like we're not really a lot of conversation in our group. I do try to keep it day to day, try to say something, like anybody who's out there, good luck and all that. But I don't know where that is, bud. But yeah, I know that the guys are out trying. They're hunting hard. I know I was when I first got out, but I mean, I got lucky, I guess, and just things lined up for me, and the guys are still trying. I was able to get out right at the last day of the warm stretch we had, where it was 80 degrees down here, more central Minnesota, and just they were a little bit talkative. They weren't quite quiet, and the Tom I got was quiet, but he came in right behind a hen. I got that hen to just decided to come over and check out my decoys, and he followed right behind her. So
awesome.
But yeah, we're just really, between me and the guy, my team member Lance, we're trying to give a little bit of incentive to the guys. Like, hey, let's get one here. Come on. But I know they're trying hard, and if they got, everybody's got family and stuff to do. So I understand if they don't have time on one weekend or a day after work or whatever. If they don't got time, they don't got the time that weekend. I get it. I was able to manage time so I could get out, and it just worked out for me.
For sure. That's awesome. One of our comments is Jason just said spur of the moment is shooting for top 3. I think we have 7 kills so far. Well, Kyle, I believe that you guys are sitting in 3rd right now, and you only have 2 of your team left to kill.
Yeah, I said 2. I said 2. I think it's actually 3 when I went back and thought about that.
Okay.
But we got the last 3 guys that need to kill. Well, 2 of them are hunting hard. We got one guy that is not. He's been pretty quiet on the group chat. He's a friend of Fahey's and mine. He's another Minnesota guy, and so he's been catching a lot of flack from the guys. And I personally sent him a text message and said, "Don't let our whole team down."
So So what are
He,
you guys? Are you guys shooting for number one? Or are you guys just hoping to beat the pimps? Or what's
oh
the
no,
what's the
no,
goal?
we want to win for
You wanna
sure.
win. Atta boy.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt about it. And then Fahey especially. I mean, he wants to be the only person in the league that's got six wins.
Yeah. I mean, you can't let a good streak die, right?
Right.
That's right. I don't want to lose. I mean, I won last year, and I followed Fahey because he's the one that kind of recruited me last year to the Bearded Bangers,
Yep.
and so I put a bird on the board, but I definitely need to get an upgrade. I kind of got a weak bird, but we got to get everybody filled out. Probably get some upgrades. The Outlaws have a really good point average. They got a couple slammer birds on the ground. And so even if we fill out completely, I think we'll need a few upgrades to jump up to first.
Oh, for sure. I don't think that any team is going to win off of first entry birds for everybody. So
No, for sure.
you've got to have some guys that are willing to shoot and shoot often
Yep,
in
for
order
sure.
to take that top. So
Yep.
all right, Chris, what about you?
I forgot what we were talking about.
Where are you?
I was
hoping
so in
to
tune.
finish?
Gosh, you know what? I'd be happy as long as like 75% of our team tagged out. I want to win and I want to be up there, but I know a lot of guys just aren't going to have the time to do it, or they're not going to be able to kill multiple birds. Because, like, I'm sure you got Mike, all them Minnesota 1 bird state, one and done. And I mean, luckily, my first bird when I actually first joined the bow hunting league, I shot a 32-point bird. It was a 10.5-inch beard, 1.5 spurs. So it was.
And that's awesome.
There she is, right there.
There you go.
So yeah, I just every inch counts. I mean, we had a couple jakes killed, and I tell you what, if there is a contest for how many jakes you could call in and piss off, I win. So
hey, Ben Harrison, if you're watching, slogan for next year's turkey contest is "Every inch counts," because we're all going to buy the gear.
I better
right?
get trademarked for that.
Oh man! All right. Well, I tell you what, guys. For me, for my team, I'm pretty honored this year. I'm captaining a team. We're the Mother Cluckers. Where I think that there are 2 dudes and a whole bunch of hens on our team, and it's been a lot of fun. A lot of ladies learning how to turkey hunt or learning how to bow hunt. So my mission for my team is twofold. I want to not go this season without submitting a bird. I hope that one person in my group submits a bird, and then my second goal for my team is to have it where multiple of the ladies on the team have the opportunity to call in a bird, even if they don't get it. I want them to have the experience of calling in a turkey during the season. So that's the goal for our season. We are certainly not shooting to win. We are definitely shooting to kill, as is the rest of the league. But hey, this was episode 2 of Talk Turkey to Me. Thank you everybody for joining for this hour. Man, I had a great time. We're going to do this again next week. We're going to stick to our Monday night time slot. So if you could join tonight, you can join next week. We look forward to it. The scoreboard, the new this week's scoreboard, will go live again tomorrow. I've already had the privilege of seeing and / creating the King of Spurs update. I've got to finish up the team update. The rest of the team is working on everything. So stay tuned to all of our social media on Bow Hunting League for the update on how all of the teams are doing and where we stack up, and if our trash talk is actually worth it, right? Some of us are talking smack when we have no chance at getting that top spot. Some of us are in the fight for it. So once again, my name is Lance DeYoung, and on behalf of Bow Hunting League, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
So yeah.
See ya.